Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It is a beautiful Friday morning. Feel the Friday morning. And you're listening to the Smooth Breakfast. Ayokunmi here with you. Time to take you into the world of business on Business Express on a Friday. And it's all about tech related matters today. And we'll be looking at a couple of different things. The biggest thing on our list today is the NCC setting a new NIN-SIM deadline date of September the 14th. We'll also look at some matters concerning crypto as well, and a whole lot of other things as we get along this morning. Welcome along to the ride. You can join us by sending your thoughts into us on WhatsApp on 0809 440 981 0809 You can also catch us on YouTube where we're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Joining me this morning to make sense of it all and give us some clarity is Bolu Abiodun. He's a senior reporter at Techpoint Africa. Good morning to you, Bolu. Great to have you once again on Business Express.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. A pleasure. Okay, so let's get into this conversation and talking about the new dates that has been set by the NCC for NIN-SIM linkage deadline. Do you think that new date is actually going to stick? Because we've had multiple deadlines and multiple postponements. Is this just another one down the road?
Okay. Yeah, so a great way to know the future is by looking at the past. So, like you said, we've had multiple deadlines. So, if I was going to predict, I would say yes, this new one is not going to stick. We are still going to have multiple ones. So I think it's probably time for government authorities, people who work in these different agencies to think about implementing things in a different way, right? Because obviously these deadlines don't work, right? So are there other ways you can incentivize people to do these things? Or why not just make it the headache of the telcos, right? To get there, because they have the most incentives to get their subscribers to do these things. Because if their subscribers don't do them, right, if their subscribers get blocked, then they lose out. Because if my line is blocked, it means I can't buy my usual data and my airtime, right? So instead of the strict deadlines, try and work with them and figure out a way, that makes it easier, right? Or a process, right? Let's make it a process whereby you just give, people time to do these things, right? Way to just phase out by itself. So I think that is what they pretty much should be working on instead of just setting deadlines and postponing, setting deadlines and postponing. Yeah, they need to start getting creative.
Start getting creative. I like that. Now, the last NIN-SIM linkage deadline date was on July the 31st, and that was
Mm.
called off because of the cost of living protests that came up on the 1st of August. Now, are you in agreement with others that it was the wise thing to call it off at that point in time?
Yes, yes. I think it was a wise move, people, because when there are sentiments like that, you just have to do what is best, right? And I also think the telcos pushed for it because it was almost because it was sort of affecting, should I say, their branding now, right? Because people were, thinking, oh, the telcos are in cahoots with the government. They don't want us to do these things, uh, you know. And
Hmm.
when people see you, if I'm using your product and I see you as an opposition, it doesn't really bode well for you, right? One little thing will just make me move over to your competitor. So I think that it was a good move. I think it was actually very wise. because you don't want to have people thinking you blocked their lines because they were going to exercise their rights, and doing them thinking that you trample on their rights, it just will not cut it, basically. So
Right.
yeah, I would say it's wise.
Hmm. Okay, now looking at the fact that we've had multiple deadlines, multiple postponements up until this one. Now, some people are already being skeptical that don't mind them. They're going to postpone this one like they postponed the other ones. Now, it could also be said that there's a 50-50 split, or there's a split down the line between the part the government has to play in this and the part the citizens themselves have to play in this. Or how would you
Mm,
spread the blame in terms of the past deadlines not working? Because the government have come on multiple times to say, oh, at this particular date we'll do this. But of course, the people also have a part
mm,
to play. You know how some Nigerians tend to be in terms of,
mm.
oh, deadlines. They'll say, oh, I'll do it. I'll do that. Maybe a day two or the day of the deadline, they begin to rush and all that. How would you, should I say, apportion the blame in this particular situation?
Um, 100% still the government. I will blame the government 100%. Right.
How about the people?
So here's the thing. Like I said earlier, they need to start getting creative about getting people to do these things, right? Because I really do not have. Yes, I don't want my line barred. Um, there are things I should also do, but if it is something that will, because it's just, I mean, look at what happened the last time. We saw there were tons of people at different offices of these telcos, right? And then I think at some point, something like a riot even broke out at some of those offices. So it goes to show you that this linkage of a thing actually, because mine was bad too, and it was something I could resolve easily on my phone. Just press a link, and it's done. So it goes to show you that there are still a lot of people that can do such easy processes on their own, right? Which is also a fault of the government, of the government, but I mean that's going to something deeper. But then they need to start getting creative. For example, we have bank agents network of about 2 million in Nigeria, right?
Right.
Why don't we stop using them for um withdrawing and sending money alone, and we start using them for other things, right? Such as this SIM linkage, for example, right? These
Mm,
POS networks, there are a lot of them, they're everywhere, right? Why don't you send updates, right? It's not something that would take so much. Send updates to all those POS machines, for example. And then when people come around and they come to withdraw money, for example, the POS
hmm,
agent could just tell them, oh, have you linked your SIM? Okay, do you know you can actually do that with me? All I need is this, and I will do that for you. That's
right.
that sort of thing could work. So a lot of different avenues that they can employ, like they can harness to do all these things, right?
Mm.
It's just them thinking, right? Just them thinking and being creative. So I 100% still blame the government.
Thinking up outside the box and being creative,
Yeah.
Bolu says, government, this is all at your doorstep. Interesting thoughts there. Okay, before we leave this particular matter of the NIN SIM linkage deadline, can you really quickly here speak to the security issues when it comes to the need for everyone to actually be registered and to be connected as well?
Oh yes, it's a very big issue, yes, because um, and one thing I will always go back to when it comes to the importance of this is identity theft, right?
Okay.
Um, it's people now do all sort of things on their phones. I mean, there was a time when the old NIMC thing happened, when people's identities were available for sale
Mm,
online. It just goes to show you that someone could register a SIM in your name and then use it for nefarious activities. And then when that phone number is traced, it's you they'll come and catch because that's the name on the phone number. So
Right.
yes, it's very important. So now that you actually bring that up, maybe I won't completely blame the government. Maybe I'll say, uh, maybe I'll say 80-20, right? We should also take responsibilities to a certain extent for our own good, you know,
Mm,
as well. So yes, linking your SIM could actually be in your own very best interest.
mm. All right. So off of that, moving on quickly to some crypto matters now. We see that Quidax and Busha have been legally recognized as crypto exchanges. How important is this regulatory move? I mean, coming from the Securities and Exchange Commission.
This is very, very, very important, especially one of the reasons why it is very important is because we've never had a solid grasp on regulating crypto exchanges, right? This is the
Okay.
first time
Okay.
in Nigeria that we are seeing a semblance of regulation for crypto exchanges, right? It's the first time crypto exchanges are, basically getting licensed, right? And the interesting thing about what the Security and Exchange Commission is doing about this is, this licensing is not just, take your license, go and operate. It is, they are doing something sort of an incubation program where they observe the way these crypto exchanges function, their business models, how they onboard people, things like that,
Mm,
get to know
mm,
them better. And then create better regulation for them. So you see that I think it's a forward-thinking move because regulation will evolve as technology evolves. So by doing this, right, you are abreast of whatever changes are occurring to that technology, and then
right.
you can now regulate better. You can know what to tweak, what to change in your regulation. So this is very important because cryptocurrencies are not going anywhere. People will keep, no matter what you do, people will keep using cryptocurrencies, right?
Mm,
So now that you are recognizing these guys, it now gives you a better way to protect people, right? And also gives you a better way to understand cryptocurrencies and also nab those people who use it for nefarious activities.
mm. All right. Interesting thoughts there. Regulation will definitely evolve and it will bring sanity, I guess, to that particular sector. Let me take messages as we round up the conversation. Tayo says, government and deadline are two words that never relate. I'll be here for them to give us another deadline. Very interesting there. Let me see here. Zikolu says, I think the biggest issue with the SIM linkage with NIN is that even the telcos do not seem to know what they are doing. My friend went to
Mm,
their office to link his, and they confirmed even uh, their app. Oh, they confirmed on their app that it had been done, but he was blocked for not linking his SIM to his NIN. How do you explain that? A number of people
mm,
had those issues as well. Um, Ian Bolu says, I'm actually struggling to understand why it's always the government every time. Government shouldn't be the only thinking party here. The NIN registration started way back in 2013, and I did mine then. Did mine then. So was I the only thinking Nigerian then? Citizens must learn to be responsible. Why wait till the last day? So please let the blame go around. Fortunately, Yinka, um, Bolu also said that he should I say splits the blame across board
yeah,
eventually during the conversation. Maybe you missed a particular part where he actually said that. But thank you for sharing your
mm.
thoughts and thank you so much, Bolu Abiodun, for joining me this morning on
You're
Business
absolutely
Express.
welcome.
Pleasure having you. Have a great Friday and a great weekend ahead.
You too.
All right then. And thank you all for sending in your messages on Business Express. Keep it tuned to the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. More great music coming for you as we journey to 7:30 and of course freshly pressed.